Warm greetings from the High 10. It's Everyday Shenanigans. Thank you so much for your time. This is live number 2. This is Samantha's Journey. This is a true crime story, a true story of survival. This is Samantha's journey in this conversation with this young lady. You will hear her harrowing story of survival one fateful morning when her husband tried to take her life. Thank you so much for joining me. Samantha, how are you?
I'm doing okay. How you doing?
I'm good. So, how old are you?
I'm 47.
47. How many children do you have?
I have three.
3 children. Are you in a good space right now, personally?
Yes.
You're in a better place now?
Yes, I am.
You're happy now?
Yeah, I'm much stronger.
Okay, great. 3 children. Is it boys, girls? How many girls? How many boys?
Three girls.
3 girls. Okay. Take me back to the date. First of all, before I even go back to the date, explain the relationship you had with your husband at the time before he tried to kill you.
Well, we was just so much in love.
Mm-hmm.
Um, had a great life.
Okay.
Um, great jobs.
Mm-hmm.
Everything was just going great.
Mm-hmm.
And we wasn't married at the time. So it was just, he was in college and I was just working a job.
Okay.
And we met and we start dating and soon fell in love.
Okay. So how old were you all when you married?
I'll say I was like 24 or 25 years old.
Okay. Did you have children with him before you got married or after you got married?
After after I got married.
Okay. Was this your first child by him or your first child in general?
Second child.
So you already had a child when you met him.
Yes.
Okay. How old was that child?
She was 2 at the time.
Okay. Okay. Did you have a good rapport with that child's father?
We wasn't together.
Okay, but I'm just saying, did you have a good rapport with him before you met this husband?
Yeah, we was okay.
Okay.
Um,
So how did he feel about you having a child when he met you?
he took it up very easy. You
Okay.
know, he took care of her and make sure she had everything she needed and
So you felt like he loved the child.
yeah, I felt like he loved her and he was happy to have somebody in his life.
Okay. So he was happy to have you and the child. There were no problems at the time. So you were about 24, 25 when you first married him, correct?
Yes,
What was it about him that made you fall in love with him?
he was charming. Uh,
Was he
yeah, he
tall, short, average height?
average height.
Average.
He
Okay.
basically worshipped the ground I walked on. I mean, he gave me so much
Really?
attention and love and showed me so much.
So he was affectionate.
Yes,
Was he jealous?
at the time I didn't see that.
Okay. So when you first met him, he didn't show any tendencies of being jealous, or did he show any signs of violence?
No, I didn't see
Did he
nothing.
ever did he ever curse at you?
No,
Did he ever belittle you?
no.
Did he have a good relationship with his mother and family at the time when you met him, dating him?
Um, he had a mother and a sister and a brother.
Mm-hmm.
The mother was kind of a little bit sick on and off. So
I see.
he basically had still was taking care of her,
Okay.
the family.
Okay. Okay. So had a living mother at the time. So take me into this relationship when it started to deteriorate because you were living a happy life. You already had a child. At some point, you had a child with him, correct?
Yes,
This would be your second child,
yes,
which is a girl.
yes.
How was that child when things started to go awry with you and this husband?
Um, around four,
4.
4 years old. Yeah,
And the oldest was how old? Your
13,
oldest child. How?
13.
So one child, 13, that's not his. You have a child with him that's about
4 or 5 years.
4 or 5 when the relationship starts to deteriorate. What was going wrong in the relationship at that time?
He started drinking heavily.
Do you know why he was drinking?
He would come home from work and would drink Crown Royal,
Okay.
and not even a half a gallon, or he would drink a whole gallon of it.
A whole
And
gallon. Did you ever ask him why he was drinking a whole gallon? Just straight liquor?
yeah, straight liquor.
Did you ever ask him why are you drinking a whole gallon or half a gallon of liquor?
I would ask, you don't have to drink all of that tonight, but
Right.
he chose to do what he wanted to do, and I couldn't tell
So you
him.
said so a whole gallon or a half? Am I getting it right?
A whole gallon of
That's a
Crown.
lot. That's a lot.
Yeah,
How often did he drink a gallon of liquor?
every night he came home from work, he would
So
do
he
that.
worked how many days a week?
5 days a week, sometimes 6.
Okay, so get out from work, go straight to pour the liquor into a glass or drink out the bottle.
Drink it in the glass,
Okay.
glass after glass, talking all night.
Talking, what do you mean?
I mean, just talking about different things.
Oh, his
From-
life, you mean?
Huh?
He was talking about what exactly now, hon?
Different things that were just on his mind at the time.
I see. So do you think he was, or will you say he was venting while drinking?
Yes.
Okay. So basically he's upset and that liquor was possibly his coping mechanism.
Yes.
Would you
yes,
say that?
Yes.
How long did this go on before you all separated ways?
It started going on for probably about months, 6 months or more,
6 months.
or a year.
So
And
how
then
long were you married when this drinking occurred? Let's go there. How far into the marriage did the drinking start?
it wasn't that bad at first.
Okay.
Drinking probably started after 2006.
Okay.
That's
So
when
how long were you married then?
we probably was married 5 or 6 years at the time.
So what do you think happened in 5 or 6 years to make him start heavily drinking?
Well, for one, my mother passed.
Okay.
She was a close he was close to my mother,
Oh, okay. That was good.
and they had a bond. I
Okay.
felt like that he didn't have anybody to talk to, and
Oh, okay. So he confided in your mother.
a lot. Yes,
Okay, a lot. So why do you think he wasn't close to his own mother?
because she was in and out the hospital. She wasn't
Sickly.
well.
But do you think he respected his mother?
Yes, of course.
Okay, that's fine. Okay, so 4 or 5 years in, things started going downhill. Can you tell us what exactly was wrong in the marriage at this point besides the drinking?
He was talking. He was basically giving me mental abuse, talking down to me, and
Really?
telling me this and telling me that. He was starting to get controlling.
Okay, so he was fine at first when you all were dating and courting.
Right.
But then what do you think was causing him to start to belittle you?
He started being controlling. He started trying to control what I wore,
Uh-huh.
what I chose,
Uh-huh.
the people I was around.
Okay.
It just started being a controlling thing.
So let's say he got home from work. What would be the first thing he'd say when he walked in the door?
He wanted his dinner, and
Okay.
I stayed. He wanted me to stay up until he got home from work, because he would get home from work real late.
Okay.
So I would have to sit up and listen to him talk about this day and about what happened.
Mhm.
And at that time, it was glass after glass after glass.
Okay. Were you working at the time?
Yes, I worked too.
So you needed to go to bed. Did you have to get up early in the morning or afternoon job?
Of course, because I had to get kids ready for school.
So kids and a job. So by the time he got home, which was what? After 12, after 1, what?
After 12.
So you're sleepy by the time he gets home and he wants now somebody to listen to him.
Yeah.
Do you feel like you were meeting all his needs?
Yes, I did.
Mentally, physically,
Yes, of course.
romantically?
Yeah. Then it got to a point where got tiresome. Like when the control came,
Mm-hmm.
like I was just trying to do everything to make sure he was happy and satisfied. But at the same time, I start feeling depressed within myself
Yeah,
because I wasn't making myself happy. I'm making
exactly.
somebody else happy, and they wasn't happy.
And they weren't happy, exactly. When did you two separate?
We separate in 2009.
Okay. You
No,
have
I
not,
can take that back. 2008.
okay. So in 2008, how many years had you been married to him?
8 years.
Where did you go?
I left that house and went and stayed at my mother's house, but she had,
Okay.
and nobody was at her house. So
Okay.
me and my 2 kids went to go stay with her,
It was your
stay
mother.
at the house. And prior to that, it started being abusive. He started being abusive and beating up on me and putting
Oh
his
my
hands on me.
God.
And so one particular night, I said, my daughter had saw me get myself beat up really bad, and she called the police on him.
Mm-hmm.
And prior to that, I was trying to get away from him because
Okay, so wait, let me go back. So the night that he beat you up really bad, you weren't living in the house with him?
yes, we were.
Y'all
Yes,
were together.
I was trying to get away prior to that because the beating had got consistent.
Okay, so you were trying to leave, or had you said you did say you had moved into the house.
Not at that time. I was still living with him.
Okay. But when
And
you moved out, you were done. When you went to
exactly,
your mother's house.
because that was my ticket to get away from him
Okay.
and not come back. I can say that it's hard for women to get away from abusers
Mm-hmm.
because you got to figure out how to get away
Mm-hmm.
because it's not easy because they will find you.
Mm-hmm.
They know your every move
Mm-hmm.
because you constantly told them.
Well, most
And
women can't just up and reroute their lives. That's the problem.
exactly.
Because so long as you're gonna live in the same town, people talk. It won't be long before a mother, father, sister, somebody tell where you live.
And we had a kid together, and so you could, they would use that and be like, I want to see my child, blase, blase, and
Mm-hmm.
I want to do this. And so prior to that, I was dealing with all of that. And one night he came home from work and he was accusing me of cheating on him.
Oh
Well,
wow.
he would go through my purse and pull out credit cards and stuff like that.
Yeah.
Call on my cell phone every number that I didn't dial that day.
Oh, wow. What do you think was making him turn? What do you think made him turn into this monster, this possessive person?
Because he felt like he was missing out on something by working at night and he wasn't
Okay.
around me.
So he became paranoid.
Yes.
So do you think he was going through some mental issues on his own?
I felt like yes, because I asked him if we wanted to get some type of counseling,
Okay.
and he didn't want that.
Why? I wonder why.
He
Why not?
felt like everything was fine. He didn't need to talk to nobody.
Everything was fine.
Our relationship, our marriage was fine.
So
And
you told him what exactly?
I feel like we need to go talk to our pastor or talk to a counselor because we got issues that is keep growing and that's getting out of control.
So you were going to church at that time?
Of course, yes. Yeah, we would go to church as a family.
Wow.
And people would never know what was going on behind the closed
Did
door.
you tell anybody that he was belittling you and beating you up?
No, I didn't.
Why not?
Because I didn't want nobody to be in our business and I didn't want nobody to know.
Really?
He was highly respected.
Not even your mother?
My mother was deceased at the time.
Oh, deceased at the time. Okay, I'm sorry.
Yes.
Your mom had passed. Okay.
So
no close friends or anybody?
No. And so that particular night, I'm taking you back to that night. I told my daughter called the police.
Well, that's okay. So you talking about the night that he beat you up? You're living in this house at your mom's house, right?
No, I'm living at the house with my husband.
Okay,
And
maybe jumping
I
around a little bit.
told uh she called the police, my 14-year-old, 13-year-old. And the police came and I told the police, don't take him to jail, but just let us leave, me and my two kids. And that was my ticket to get away from him. And
Okay,
the
on that night when the bad beating, right?
yes, it
That's
got
what I'm
really,
trying to
really
stand on
bad.
the page. Okay, the
Yeah.
bad beating. So you said you told the police, let us go.
Yes, you don't take him to jail, but
Mm-hmm.
let us go.
Okay.
So we left and went to my mother's house
Mm-hmm.
that no one was staying in
Mm-hmm.
with the clothes on our back. We
Wow.
didn't have nothing because I was so in a hurry to get away from him, and that was my ticket. I didn't care if I didn't have nothing.
Yeah, I
Even
understand.
I didn't even have time to pack nothing. I was just
Mhm.
excited to leave.
Right,
That
right, right.
I had somebody there that I could leave.
Okay.
And so at that point, you know, I stayed at my mother's house. The stalking started.
Okay.
When I would go to my mother's house at night, he'd come and beat on the window and the door, threatening me to open up the door.
So you stayed in the mother's house. How long did you say? 'Cause you said when you went to the house. So were you staying there part time or staying somewhere else?
I stayed there up until I was able to find me a place for my own.
So while you stayed in the house, he began stalking you in the mother's house.
Well, I had went and got an order of protection,
Mm-hmm.
trying to protect myself and my children.
Okay.
And I was told that I was going to get protected. He was going to stay away from me. He would get served.
Okay.
Um, I would get the protection I needed to, get my life back on track.
Mm-hmm.
And which I did basically a paper trail. Called the police every time, told him I had an order of protection, told him he was threatening me, told him he was
So
coming
how
by.
often did he do this? How often did he come by this house? This is you're still at the mother's, correct?
Yes.
So how
This
often was he
was
coming by?
this was constantly like 2 or 3 times a day. It wasn't nothing.
When he got off from work?
He didn't go to work till evening.
Oh Lordy.
So he would constantly threatening me, come and cut my tires up, do anything to stop me from getting where I need to go to move forward.
Okay.
And so finally I filed for a divorce,
Mm-hmm.
because at the Justice Center you have those options that would give you help at this time, legal aid, and they helped me get legal aid to try to get my divorce
Okay.
moving or whatever. We went back and forth through that. So basically, we went through a divorce for about 2 years, trying to get a finalized.
What was
So
the holdup with the 2 year wait?
he wanted custody of my daughter.
Okay. How was your children behaving at this time with all that's going on between you and him?
Scared,
Scared.
scared, scared for me.
I couldn't imagine being a
And
child.
right, and so he had a high priced lawyer. I had legal aid,
I see.
and so I was asking my legal aid attorney that at the time we had a Habitat house.
Okay.
Asked, can they give me that Habitat house back so I wouldn't be having to be finding an apartment that's more than my income that I can afford.
Mm-hmm.
And so, meanwhile, I found me an apartment, stayed there for about 3 to 6 months before they was able to get my house back from me.
Okay.
And I moved back into my house, me and my two kids. Then prior, we was going through this for 2 years.
Mm-hmm.
Imagine a mother with two kids going through stuff day after day after day.
I can't imagine.
It was tiresome.
Oh, I'm sure it was.
It was tiresome. I felt like I had no only purpose I had was to be there for my kids.
Children, right. So I'm trying to understand. You didn't want to tell anybody what you were going through. At some point, were you telling people now that you're being stalked and harassed, and he's fighting for the children.
No,
Child.
one child.
One child. That's what I mean. One child. Did you ever tell somebody then, okay, this is what he's trying to do to me now?
Yeah, people would know. My family would know what I was going through.
Yeah, because in the beginning you said you didn't want to tell nobody he was beating you up and belittling you.
Right. I still didn't tell nobody at that point, but I was telling people what he was doing when I'm trying to live my life.
But what were they saying when they found out he was stalking you?
Get an order of protection. Make sure you call the police on them.
Yeah.
Was
there anybody that didn't support you?
No, at this time, my family was like, getting tired of it.
Okay.
So that's how it was.
Wow. So you're in the Habitat house living. Did he find you there?
Yes, because that was our house together.
Okay.
He knew where I lived. He stopped me from there too.
Oh, so you didn't have no reprieve?
No.
Okay, I got you.
He continued to stalk me.
So what would he be doing when he was stalking? Banging on doors, windows?
Go to work at daytime, come home, my door was kicked open.
Oh, Lord. I can't imagine that, man.
He would come in and take the TVs out, all the TVs out the house and all the food out the cabinets.
It's not funny, but I'm trying to take the food out the refrigerator and the cat. Oh, girl, please.
So me and my kids wouldn't have nothing to eat.
Oh, Lord have mercy.
I mean, sometimes somebody will feel, sometimes people will hit you up under the belt.
Well, yeah, that's to
get you back.
Yes, I know you gotta eat. You got kids to feed. You gotta watch TV. You gotta.
He wanted something to get me back.
Yeah, I know
he wanted He wanted to do something to me too, so I can say, okay, I give up. I come back to you.
Yeah, I understand.
You know what I'm saying? He was doing everything to pull me down.
So how long did that go on? Because I know you had been calling the police and telling them what he was doing. And what were they saying when you were going to the Justice Center?
Oh, we're going to get him. We're going to get him. And when
did they ever arrest him with all these kicking in the doors? Because he's breaking.
No, they never could find him.
Oh,
he
had a job.
Right, but during the day, he wasn't working. He didn't go to work till evening, like 3 or 4, and work till 11 or 12 at night.
Yeah, but so during the daytime in the evening now.
Yeah, 3 in the evening. Like a 3 to 11.
Yeah, but I'm saying you could still serve a warrant at that time. People serve warrants. They serve warrants anytime they want to serve a warrant.
Exactly, but he had the paperwork on the order of protection, but he still kept violating it.
I don't understand this. He's violating and kicking in doors, and you didn't go to the police and say, "Hey, he just kicked my door in."
Yes, I would call him.
Okay, and then they would not violate him.
They have to find them to violate them.
Oh, but see what I'm saying, baby. He still went to a job at some point, though.
Right, but that was what's the place I want to say? That was like a big corporation. That they would serve him papers, but they couldn't arrest him because he has to be there on the property or there right when he did the stuff.
Oh, mercy. Okay, so how long did this go on while you were living apart from him, the stalking and the kicking in doors and all that?
It went on for about 2 years.
So
go ahead. Finally, the 2 years came up. We still fighting in a divorce.
Okay.
Now it has came to conclusion. His lawyer is served me papers saying that he was going to get temporary custody of my child. In the grounds of my illness, I suffered with epilepsy seizures.
Okay.
So the grounds was I'm not able to take care of my child.
Okay.
I have a health issue. Mind you, I had never been home a day of my life and got disability. I still work ever since. I was diagnosed with seizures.
Okay.
And so I was supposed to get my child every other weekend.
Mhm.
And after that, every other weekend, he was going to get my child, and I wasn't going to see her till once a weekend out of a month.
One weekend out of a month.
Yeah, I was getting her. I was getting her. No, I'm sorry. Let me take it back. I was getting her for 2 weeks. After them 2 weeks,
Mhm.
he was going to get her and have her for 2 weeks. And then I was not supposed to get her to every other weekend after that.
Okay, so how was your child dealing with this, having to go to this man who was abusing and kicking in doors of the mother? How was her relationship with him?
She was young. She was 4 or 5 years old. So she didn't really understand what was going on because she loved her mama and she loved her daddy. So
Okay.
she was so young, she didn't really understand. And I tried to keep her away from, you know what I'm saying? I didn't try to talk about it in front of her. I say,
So when he
you
was
know,
getting her, she was just 4 or 5.
yeah, so she was real young. At that
Okay.
age, you try to protect your kids and keep them away from that type of
Well,
stuff.
do you think he treated her well when she was staying with him?
Oh yeah, he loved her.
Because
That was
I
his
didn't know
baby.
if he was beating on the child either or abusive to the
No,
child. Okay.
no, he didn't do nothing to harm her because it was his baby,
Okay.
and so he loved his daughter. And after that, you know, okay, prior to these 2 weeks, so that next Wednesday, supposed to went and stay with her daddy, and I wasn't gonna see her till after the 2 weeks, every other weekend.
Mm-hmm.
So mind you, I learned through that process, don't be a tit for tat.
Yeah.
He was doing all this stuff to me. I would call the police. They wouldn't do nothing. I wouldn't call and playing on his phone. He would call and play on my phone. I would block the number.
So
He'll
what was he
come
doing when you say that? What was he doing?
uh, playing on my phone, calling and cussing me out.
Okay.
Talking about if I can't be with you, nobody is.
Okay.
Threatening me.
Let me ask you something. Were you dating anybody at the time while you were separated from your husband?
I didn't start dating till uh mind you, it was 2 years into going through the divorce.
Okay.
I had met somebody a week, went on a blind date 2 weeks before my daughter had to leave.
Okay.
So we started dating, and I was scared at the time. But the person I was dating, he was like, we can just kick it with our kids, and nothing serious. We
Okay.
didn't get nothing serious.
Did you like this guy?
Yeah, I liked him. He was somebody to talk to.
So
You
was he
know,
near your age or older or younger?
he was my age.
Okay, at that time. Okay. So how long did you all kick it or did it ever get serious?
Mind you, it was 2 weeks in.
Mm-hmm.
We had actually went to a family cookout,
Okay.
and he had came to pick me up, me and my kids. We went to the cookout, and he's like, "Well, I'm gonna take you home." And I was like, come on. At the time, I lived in the country,
Okay.
so it wasn't like down the street or whatever. I lived in the country, and he said he. I said, "Well, it's getting late. It takes time to get back to the city." And so he had brought me and my kids home. We had a cookout, went to a cookout, and something in the back of my mind said, I forgot, I still got a stalker.
Did you tell him that?
I had told him my soon-to-be ex-husband has been stalking me, but we wasn't divorced.
How did he feel about dating a woman that has a stalking husband?
He would just say, "Don't worry about it. You'll be
Wow.
okay. You'll be okay." He would protect me,
Mhm.
and so they never faced each other,
Okay.
never seen each other.
So he lived in the city, right? And you were in the country.
Who, my ex?
The boyfriend, the current
Yeah.
boyfriend.
Mhm. So at the time too, mind you, my soon-to-be ex lived with the girl himself.
So he had a girl and you were dating a guy.
Yeah.
Okay.
While he was before I got a guy, he still had a girlfriend and still was stalking me. Still was
That's
doing
crazy.
stuff.
So I wonder what the hell she was doing while he's stalking you, or did she know about him stalking you?
I don't know if she even know. I knew she
Okay.
worked a lot. I
Okay.
don't even know. I really didn't know their situation.
Okay.
I don't even know she knew what was he doing.
Okay.
And so, because of simple fact, my daughter would tell me that she stayed at the house with them when she go visit her dad.
All right.
She would tell me about he had a girlfriend,
Well,
and
did your daughter get along with this woman?
yeah, she did. She did. She didn't have no kids,
Okay.
so yeah. And so she got along with her, and she'll tell me how good she was to her. And,
Okay.
they went this place and went this place. Well, back to the story when I had met somebody and we went to a cookout that it happened on a weekend in the summer, um, on July the 20th in 2009. I told he had his daughter, and I said, well, y'all can stay at my house, y'all can leave tomorrow. We got back late. He got us back home late. And so I was like, it's too late to go back. Just stay with us.
Okay.
That was his first time staying with me.
So tell me who all was in the house. Is this the night that led up to the event?
Yes.
So
Yes.
who's all in the house this night?
It was me, my two daughters, him, and his daughter.
Okay. Go ahead.
And so we were asleep. This is Sunday morning at 5:45 in the morning.
Okay.
Um, we were sleeping in bed. My 14-year-old heard a banging at the back door,
Okay.
and my door was shut. So she didn't come in my room at the time, but she called the police. She said somebody is breaking in our house. My mama's in the bed asleep, and we need a police officer to come out.
Okay.
So her room was, you could get to her room first before you got to mine because we had a long hallway. Mine was at the end.
Okay.
He walked past her. He obviously he didn't see her up. She was standing in her doorway
Okay.
in the dark on the
Wow.
phone with the police.
Okay.
He kicked in my bedroom door.
Okay.
Stand in front of I had a king size bed. Stand in front of my king size bed at the end. Shot 3 times. Cut the light on. Pull the covers off of me. Mind you, you in a deep sleep, so you don't realizing this is shooting going on. It's like a lifetime story. He pulled the covers off of me and he cut the light on, pulled the covers off of me, and shot 4 more times. At that time, I had sat up in the bed, and I'm your eyes is still trying to wake up. Like, what is going on? What is going on? As I sat up, the bullet went through my stomach and out my back. My friend at the time that spent the night with me, he had put his leg over mine and got shot 3 times in his leg. He saved my life, but at the same time, I got shot. He got shot.
Okay.
Um, I didn't realize what getting shot meant. I mean, felt like, you
Okay.
know, my kids was up screaming and crying. My soon to be ex-husband, still standing at the end of the bed. He was drunk.
Do
He
you know what
couldn't
type of gun? Do you know what type of gun he was using at that time?
They said it was a 9 millimeter, but I'm not for sure. This is what they said in the courts.
Okay.
And he's still standing there. I get out my bed. All I could think about is my kids okay? My kids okay? Please tell me he didn't shoot my kids.
Right.
I walked past him. He's
Bleeding
still,
now.
yes, bleeding. My daughter screamed and hollered and said, Mama, look down, look down. You got shot in your stomach. So I made it to my baby's room, which was a 5-year-old, the kid we had together.
Okay.
She crying. I see that she's okay, but she was just crying, sitting on the bed. I goes down the hall to my oldest child's room. I laid there on the floor as she was talking to the policeman, ambulance, to tell them to hurry up and get her. Her mama was dying. At this time, blood gushing out my stomach.
Okay.
I'm laying on the floor, don't even knowing if I'm going to survive this or not. I'm just laying there crying and telling them, hurry up and get her, hurry up and get her. I just got shot in the stomach. By the time the police and the ambulance get there, blood has covered up the whole room, bedroom floor.
Hmm.
I was gushing out that fast. That police gets
Well,
there.
where's your boyfriend at the time while you're in the other child's room?
He made it to the bedroom too, where I was at, and was laying across the bed. I'm laying on the floor. He was just telling me, it's gonna be okay. We're gonna be okay. We're gonna be okay.
So where is the husband at?
As my daughter was after we walked past him and came in my daughter's room, he skipped up and ran out the house.
Went out the house. So he shot everybody. He let you all walk by him.
Yes.
I just think that's interesting. He let
I
y'all walk
felt
by
like
without
he was in a state of
shooting.
shock. I feel like he was in a state of shock.
He did go there. Listen, he did go there with a gun.
Yeah. I think he didn't realize what he actually did.
So you do believe he was inebriated at the time?
What you say?
Was he drunk at the time?
Yeah, he was drunk. He couldn't even hold the gun straight.
Yeah,
that's why the bullets wasn't going straight to me.
Okay.
And at the time, I'm laying on the bed on the floor. My friend laying on across the bed, telling me it's gonna be okay. We're gonna be okay. That my daughter was talking to the ambulance and the police, telling them to hurry up and get there. My mama just got shot. And that's like, is this the same guy? She kept calling him about the order protection. He kept stalking him. And like, yes, get her. By the time the police get there, again, they ask him the same question. Is this the same guy that you kept calling the police on? I said, yes. So ambulance get there. They take me to the UT hospital, straight to surgery. 36 staples. My large and small intestines was a hole in it, had to be reconstructed. So basically, I had to learn how to eat all over again like a baby.
Okay.
I stayed in the hospital for a week. Prior to when I got shot, the police was at my door until they found him.
So how long was it after you got shot till they found him?
This was on a Sunday morning. They found him on a Monday in Atlanta, Georgia, in a hotel.
What was the timeline?
What you mean the timeline?
So you got shot. How long was it? A week, 2, 3, what?
It was probably the next day they found him.
Okay, next day. So he didn't even get to stay on the run long.
No, because at this point, I had the system behind me. They gave me protection by my hospital door.
Yeah. Finally, but you had to get hurt in order to get protection. That's the sad part of the story.
Yeah. They didn't tell no information that I was there. They didn't let nobody know that which room I was in.
Okay.
I mean, only people know was my immediate family.
Okay.
And so when I was in the hospital for a week, same as my friend was. He was in a different room.
Okay.
The DA came and talked to me and said, I'm gonna get him. And I told you he wasn't done with me. He was gonna come after me.
Yes.
And y'all didn't believe me. And y'all felt like that, the order protection was enough, and it wasn't. And so he came, they found him. He had did a phone call to his girlfriend and told her, whatever you about to hear about me, if you love me, you going to be there for me. So obviously she was on her way to Atlanta, Georgia to meet up with him. But, they have ways now to track phone calls and conversation. So they got to the hotel before she did, and arrested him and brought him back to Knoxville, Tennessee. And at that time, we went to courts, and he was sentenced. And when I say I go back to iterate about don't be a tit for a tat, you wonder why you go through certain things. It's for a reason, and you don't realize it at the time. You I was, mind you, I was fighting to get custody of my child. I was fighting to get a divorce. I was fighting to get my house. And when you sit back and wait on it, God will give you everything that you ask for and more. I got custody of my child. I got my house. I got divorced, and he was sentenced. I was relieved, but I felt like the system did not give me what I deserved.
Okay.
I felt like it should have been attempted murder charge, and they called it heat of the night, heat of the moment.
Mm-hmm.
He only was sentenced for 9 years and got out 7 years on good behavior. He did his time. During that process, I had to learn to either going through that experience, it taught me to be a better person, or I could have turned around and be bitter and be hateful. But I chose to be a better person, and God showed me a different ways. And during that process, yes, I did experience like, why me? Why did I didn't do nothing wrong. I was trying to do the right thing. You question yourself, you question why you go through certain things in life. But at the end of the day, it made me a stronger person. Because before that, I was timid, I was scared, I didn't know which way to go, I didn't know how to live.
Right.
Now I can walk in a room with my head up and not even think about what's going on around me, who's saying this, who looking at me, who talking about me, because I have my confidence now.
Right.
I have my independence. I'm stronger.
I think it's
I
sad
have
that you didn't do
overcame a lot.
that.
I have overcame a lot.
Yeah.
And I had to forgive and move on. Because if
So
I
you
did,
have forgiven him.
yes, I had to forgive. Because if not, God would not have blessed me to this point.
How long did it take you before you forgave him?
I wouldn't know. It came over time.
Yeah, okay.
Over time. I couldn't
How
say
you feel about the
the
sentence?
next
The
day
sentence
I
really wasn't a
forgave
lot.
him.
9 years. That's not a lot. Because he also shot your friend, your boyfriend, or the new guy you were dating. So that's not a lot of time. How did you feel about the sentence itself?
I didn't feel like the system gave.
Yeah, it wasn't justice.
Yeah, I feel like it wasn't enough
How
for
did
me.
that guy feel towards you after that?
We stayed together for a good probably 3 years after that.
So what happened with that relationship?
We ended up having a kid, and it just didn't work out for us.
Okay, that's fine.
It just didn't work out after we had a kid.
You don't think he had any resentment toward you, do you?
We still good friends. We co-parenting still. We get along.
Do you feel like he had any resentment toward you for being shot? That's what I'm asking.
No, because he know it wasn't my fault.
Okay, that's fine.
No, he knew it wasn't my fault.
So let's talk about 9 years later. He is released from prison. He ends up living in the same area where you are. Did he ever try to contact you and or apologize?
No.
Do you still see him out and about?
Very seldom. We don't go to the same places. We don't I very seldom see him. Um,
Were you afraid when he got out?
no,
Why not?
because the system, the state, they let me get a permit, and I have a lifetime order protection.
Okay.
So not only, I'm not saying that I want to go and do something to him or
Mm.
whatever. I have my own protection at this time.
Okay, so you got a
I
permit to
feel
carry
like
a
I'm safe.
weapon.
I don't feel like I don't have to run or hide or
Do you
anything.
carry the weapon out? Do you carry the weapon out with you now?
No, I don't even let people know I have it.
Okay, but some may ask why not? Why don't you carry it?
I'm not scared.
Mhm.
I
I
don't
mean,
feel
just
like I
carrying
need.
it in general, not just because this man tried to kill you, but in general, crime is up.
Yeah, that's true. But
So you don't
I
think
don't
you need to carry a weapon with you, dear? Just
know.
asking.
No, because at the end of the day, I got shot at my house.
Uh-huh. Okay, but outside, they don't care about people either.
Right? Yeah.
Okay.
I just don't carry it with me everywhere I go. I just really don't. I
Well,
don't.
let me ask you this. Can you get to it in time if somebody kicks the door in again?
Oh yes. Oh
Okay.
yeah.
Okay. So he's walking around free now. No parole, no paper.
Nope. Clean
So,
slate.
okay. So how did the guy you're dating, how does he feel about him getting only 9 years and walking around free? Or do y'all ever talk about that?
No, we don't.
Okay. Do you think he will harm you again?
No. I think he did. I think he felt like he did his time and he didn't want to go back. Uh,
Okay.
he learned his lesson, but
You
you
hope.
I don't. I don't feel like he'll do anything else to me. No.
Well, you and I talked about this before recently, and you felt like he's still bitter and angry towards you. Why would he be bitter when he was the alcoholic and he was the one that was stalking you? He's the one that shot you. He was the one that's wanting to try to get his child, get custody, but you still believe he has some type of animosity towards you now. Is that true?
Um.
Or anger towards you?
Sometimes I think he still do.
Why would he be angry at you now? In your perception.
Because my daughter would be like, I just don't understand why we can't get past this and move on.
Mm-hmm. So,
And he still sometimes may say something about it. And she just want to put this behind us and go on with her life like I do.
somebody says, does he get to see the child now?
She's grown.
Mm-hmm.
I did not take her from him.
Mm-hmm.
I felt like, when he got released, that if she wanted to be in his life, I wanted her to see for herself, because at the end of the day, she didn't cause nothing.
How old was she when he was released?
She was 5 when he went there. He was gone for 7 years.
Mm-hmm.
So you can just calculate that up. And now I
Well,
I just
12,
didn't feel
12
like that was
13 when he got out.
probably around that time. Yeah. I felt like, yeah, I could have been like, no, I don't want him to see my child because he did this to me, but he did it to me, not to my child.
But did
And
did he come see the child when he got out? Did you let him
yeah,
see the child?
she was old enough for him to call and talk to her.
Okay, that's all we're gonna know. Is did they
Yeah.
have a relationship? So did they have a relationship when he was released from prison?
Yeah.
So he took her out, took her places, visited her. How did y'all work that out since he wasn't supposed to come near you?
We met at a public place.
Okay. So you had no protection or nobody escorting you while meeting this man out?
No, it would be a public place for us, like
Whew.
McDonald's or any restaurant type
Yeah.
thing.
Yeah, but you do have to understand that most women in this predicament would not want to meet him anywhere, would not even want him being near their child. You can't understand that, can't you?
Yeah, I can understand that.
Okay. Does the child now that's grown have a relationship with this man?
She still does, yes.
They talk.
Yeah.
So do you think they have a good relationship?
I really don't ask questions about when it gets
Okay.
concerning him.
Okay. I understand. And you would never take him back if he asked you to be with you again?
No.
Okay. Because of the violence. I'm just asking.
No.
We've heard all types of interesting stories with people and violence. Just curious because he does still live in the area where you live, and there is a chance or are chances that you will bump into him somewhere out. And I'm going to go ahead and ask this because I already know the answer, but the chat doesn't know the answer. Have you seen him recently somewhere out?
Yeah, I've seen him recently at a store.
Okay. And did he speak to you?
No, I mean he was coming out and I was just parking.
Okay. So you have seen him in the past few years in an establishment and he came in where it would have been close proximity. How did that go? A bar scene, rather.
If I did see him in a
Remember
bar,
you said you saw him in a bar at one time. I can't remember what year that was. Do you remember what year that was?
no, I don't remember.
So you saw him in a bar. He didn't say anything to you. You didn't say anything to him.
He spoke. I spoke, and we went on about our way, and I left.
You left just because you didn't want to be in the same place with him.
Yeah, drinking.
Yeah, I understand. Just in case he got hype. I got it.
Anything could have went left. So let me take myself away from this.
Okay. So everybody's cool now. No animosity from the guy who you was with who got shot. Your daughter has a relationship with him still. You don't talk to him. He doesn't bother you, stalk you, call you that you know of. No. Have you dated or married since being with this man?
Yeah, I married somebody else after that.
And how did that go?
We're divorced now. They didn't go too well.
So you have 2 divorces under your belt?
Yeah.
Okay. Let me ask you this. When you look back at your life pertaining to this last divorce that was short, 2 years or so, the divorce with the abusive husband that tried to kill you, do you have any regrets with the men that you chose?
No, it's just that now I pay attention to things now.
Okay.
Now,
so tell us what you look for now. What signs do you look for?
What'd you say?
What signs do you look for that tells you I possibly need to leave this alone?
Red flags.
Yeah, I mean, but like what?
If I see controlling type vibes, about when I want to be around about my friends or have my own free time, if I see certain little vibes about that, controlling type vibes,
okay,
I stay away from them. That's not what I want no more. And I choose to let them go. I say if this is giving me vibes of some stalking type vibes, or things that I experienced in my life at one time.
Yes.
And I let that go. I let them know you're not for me. We're not compatible.
Okay. So your second husband, he didn't know about what happened to you and that husband, correct?
Yes, he did.
And he didn't have any fear in dating you and marrying you?
No.
So what was I going to say? That marriage did not work out.
No. We was married for 3 years.
Were you not afraid to remarry though? You weren't afraid to love, obviously, again.
You talking about at this point now in my life?
Well, not now. I mean, at that time when you met the second husband, you obviously you didn't have any qualms about trying to find love again, I guess is what I'm trying to say.
It took a while.
Okay.
It took a while. It wasn't like overnight. Okay. It took a while, of course, before I got to a point where, I want another relationship.
What was the timeline on that from being shot till marrying this second guy?
Probably about 7, 8 years later.
Okay. So you told me you have no regrets on the men you've chosen.
Everybody wishing could change some things in their life, but you know what I'm saying? Um, at that time, if I knew certain things before what I know now, of
Yeah.
course I wouldn't have married them. I wouldn't have been
Yeah.
around them.
So,
But we live and learn. Everybody make mistakes and move
yes.
on.
Are you hopeful for love again?
Oh yeah, most definitely. I know
Okay.
God won't send me my soulmate.
Okay. So you believe in another soulmate.
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. 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 So you look forward to marrying again.
Yes, I love myself. And if you gotta love yourself first for somebody to love you.
Right.
And
Right.
so I know I'm gonna find somebody soon, but I'm not looking. And when the time is right, I find them. They'll find me.
Yes. Have you talked to your children about domestic violence?
Yeah, they know all about that. I have taught them to be aware of a lot of things
Do
for
you think
many
they are
years.
prepared?
Do I think what?
Do you think they are prepared?
Oh yeah, most definitely. Protect yourself. Love yourself.
Okay.
And I told them to look out for red flags, certain
Okay.
things in
Yeah.
men.
Do you think they're going to adhere to that? What
Yeah.
you talked to them about? Okay.
Yes. Oh yeah, they do.
Is there anything you want to tell us about your children and their journey since all this has happened?
No. I just know that I have strong children, just as well as they strong. I'm strong. We are a strong family.
Okay. So that's it. You don't want nothing else you want to share with us?
No, that's it.
Okay. I didn't know. I didn't know if there was something else you wanted to tell us. So
Thank you
make sure we touched
for
on it.
inviting
You are very
to
welcome.
your show. I really appreciate it.
Okay. So, October's coming up, as you mentioned this to me, Domestic Violence Awareness Month. For those who did not know, October is the month for domestic violence. So if there's anything you all can do out there in the community to help aid women and young girls, please do so. Do you have any plans for anything for the upcoming month of October?
No, I do want to plan on writing a book.
Okay.
And
Okay.
I do want to get involved in um, discussions with young girls or women in domestic violence. I want to basically, I always want to get out and talk to women and to let them be aware and tell my story.
Okay.
Uh, I just want them to know that they're not alone. They're not by themselves. If somebody's out there experiencing something, you know what I'm saying? I want to be able to talk to them. One day I want to be able to have my own shelter for women, you know. That's my goal is to have a shelter and talk
Sure.
to women and to give them what I had and to know that and give them hope to know that they can make it through. They
Okay.
don't have to be doing this about ourselves alone.
Right. Let me ask you this before we check out of here. Many women have stayed in relationships with abusive men. They have not left, and some have died because they stayed.
Yeah.
Some just endured the abuse, have not been murdered, let's say, but they're still dealing with it. What would be your message today, and how do you feel about women who still stay knowing the repercussions of staying in an abusive relationship?
I guess I would say it's always something better. I don't settle for less. Don't feel like that your life is at a dead end. Yeah, you've been with that person, you done got used to that person, you know how that person is. But just remember, God don't want you to suffer.
That's true.
God don't put you on this earth to suffer with one person.
You
They're
know,
not for you.
that's not love.
No, it's not love.
Right.
And you have hope. You can get away. It's places out here that will help you get away. If you don't know how, talk to somebody. Tell somebody. Don't just sit there and deal with it. You can get away.
Why do you think women stay?
Because they feel like they don't have no hope. They feel like they don't have no help. They feel like nobody going to pay attention to them. They feel like their family is going to ignore them. Nobody is there for them. That's what they feel like. They feel like they by themselves. Or in another sense, they feel like he gonna come and bother them, do more harm to them if they leave.
Okay. Well, you know, they always tell you don't leave in a heated argument because that is the worst time to leave a participant is during the heat of an argument, or don't threaten to leave because that's usually when violence occurs.
Yes.
So you leave when things look okay. You don't give a hint that you're leaving.
Oh no, most definitely don't tell your every move. You got to plan that out.
Yeah.
In my situation, I got my butt beat in order for me to leave.
Okay.
And that was my
let's say
to leave the house.
Well, what if he hadn't been beating on you? Let's just say this, because I know you loved him. Let's say he didn't beat on you, but he was mental abuse. Do you think you would have continued to stay with him?
Not long, because I was planning on leaving anyway.
Before the beating?
Because it was messing with my self-esteem.
Okay.
It was making me depressed.
Okay.
It was making me not want to be around my own kids.
Oh, wow.
I was giving up. And when I looked at them, I knew I can't give up. I got to fight.
Mm-hmm.
Continue to fight and get through this. I don't care how hard it was. I mean, I had the perfect life. He had the best job. I didn't have to even work.
Mm-hmm.
The money was great. I had everything I could possibly want and need.
I often wonder what went wrong, though.
But at the end of the day, when you got your butt beat, the next day I got a new ring, new necklace, a new bag, or outfit or two.
Mm-hmm.
Them black eyes, you got tired of them black eyes?
Yeah,
you got tired of that.
Well, you got tired of that.
You will. Anybody will.
Yeah, but you know there are women who have never left. You do know that now.
Yeah, I know that. I know that.
People who stayed. Maybe the husband died off or left, or went to jail or something, but they didn't leave them. I
just don't want women to feel like they don't have hope. Somebody is out there to help you. Talk to somebody. Don't feel like you're alone.
Do you think he has any regrets for shooting you in your stomach?
I think he do. I think he has regrets because at the end of the day, if I would have died,
he would have been still gone.
Yeah, he wouldn't even got
still been gone. Right.
He wouldn't have been able to get out now. So it's different out there now.
I wonder if he's still abusive.
I don't know.
You don't hear of anything?
I don't know. I don't communicate with him or know what's going on in his life.
Yeah. But you know what I'm saying? I always wonder if a person makes an attempt to change their ways when it comes to abuse.
He may have. I don't. I mean.
Well, I was just curious, but I thank you. So you're writing a book. Your plans is to have a book. You would like a book deal if you could.
Yeah, I got some of it, but I am looking for an editor, a publisher.
Okay.
And if someone's out there that's their specialties, they can pull up your link and find you.
Yes,
and you can contact me.
Yes. If you are interested in this information in this live and you have some publishing skills and or direction, please contact the Queen at Everyday Shenanigans. Well, I thank you, Samantha, for joining me. I I really thank you for your message. I thank you for sharing with the chat and the viewing audience your relationship with this man at the time, what you went through, and that now you are in a better place, a healthier place. You work every day. You have a home. The children are doing well. You're thriving.
Yeah, my
And
children.
surviving.
Yeah.
And you are still looking for love.
Not necessarily. I want love to find me.
Okay. Okay, we reroute that then. Okay. You're still hopeful that you can find love.
My
Or love finds
soulmate,
you
my
rather.
soulmate is out there. Come
Okay.
find me.
Yes, that's as my daddy used to say. Yeah, let him chase you.
I'm not chasing them.
Yes, my daddy used to say, honey, let him chase you. Amen. Amen. He's so funny.
Thank you
so
so
much.
much
You're
for
welcome.
having me.
You
Have a
anytime.
blessed night.
You too, honey. Bye-bye. Okay, bye-bye. All right, everybody. That's Samantha. I want to thank you all for your time. 1 hour in. God bless all of you. Thank you for watching the last live pertaining to true crime. Miss Debbie Collier, who was found deceased down in northern Georgia. As everyone knows, that is a current story. So I thank you all so much for everything. Watching, listening to my content, following me, like, share, subscribe. Please check my community board for the latest information on breaking news and updates. Just please follow the information. Thank you for your time. Thank you all for joining me. I do have a new movie of the week called Backroads. My understanding is based on a true story, but anyway, please check out that movie, Backroads. It's a very intense movie. It's a movie about dysfunction. It's also some violence in the movie, but it's a very good movie. And it's a movie about hope, hopelessness, depression, and just taking the wrong turns in life. And that's what we need to focus on to be better people, is to make better decisions so that we don't end up in dire situations such as where Samantha ended up. Because this is what can happen to you when you try to hold on, and the person then decides that they can't move on without you. So you don't know how people are going to turn out. I'm sure she never imagined this guy that she really enjoyed being with, and then marrying, having a child with him, having a family, that he would turn on her, become an alcoholic, and then abusive. And I really would like to know what spawned all this emotion out of him to become an alcoholic and then become abusive, because everything has a start. Every emotion has a start. And sadly, Samantha could have lost her life because she was shot several times. It's tragic, but she's alive now by the grace of God. If you'd like to donate to this great network, Everyday Shenanigans, $ Big Angie, 129 Cash App. All stickers, chats are welcome during my lives. God bless all of you. Thank you for the support. You all stay safe out there. I will be back with more stimulating content and conversation. Look forward to more videos this week. God bless all of you. Please be safe. If you see something, say something. Be a part of the solution and not the problem. Mind the children. And if you're in an abusive situation, please seek help immediately. Do not taunt or provoke the perpetrator, because you want to be able to make it free, especially if you have children. Know that you are valuable and that you are worthy, and you do not have to put up with any type of abuse, be it physical, mental, or sexual, by anybody. Anybody. Know your worth. Thank you for joining me. This is Everyday Shenanigans.